It's no secret that in the US, we do not have enough homes. They're built slowly, they're expensive, and they're not very durable to natural disasters. But one company based in Florida is changing that. This is Onyx Homes. They're building thousands of homes within this factory that are primarily made from concrete, so they're more durable to fire, wind, and water. So I'm sure you guys know that homes typically are stick-built on site, and it takes a really long time, like 10 months usually. It's a long process. With this factory process that's on a production line, they can build these 2,000 square feet concrete homes in just a month. And I know you might be like, why concrete? So I know it seems kind of extra to build a concrete house, but the truth is, these days, that's what we need in certain places. Stick-built homes are getting destroyed by fires, hurricanes, floods. So I'm sure some of you guys have seen that there is a huge issue now in Florida. You can't even get home insurance in certain places, and where you can get it, it's extremely expensive. My home insurance in Seattle is $100 a month, but there are people in Florida paying over $1,000 a month. And it's coming to California too, where these wildfires have kind of wreaked havoc. It's very expensive for the insurance companies to rebuild, so the premiums are going up. Stick-built houses are just not resilient to natural disasters the way that concrete is. So that is a big reason why they went with building concrete homes in Florida. Onyx has already built hundreds of these homes and sold out of many neighborhoods. But what's really interesting is how these are built, because like I mentioned, it's mostly in a factory. So this is the main factory, which they have a model home in that is fully finished out, and it looks totally like a regular home. You wouldn't even really know that it's concrete. There's drywall inside. Everything feels kind of what you're used to when it comes to a new construction home, which I think is a really good thing. Outside of the model home, you can see the bathroom pods that they manufacture and the staircases. So they make these in the factory and then bring them to the home site to have it all hooked up. You can see even the bathrooms have plumbing and electrical ready to go. We took a tour of the factory, which is pretty massive. They assemble parts of the roof here, which they use steel for because it is better for reinforcing for wind. It's going to be more resilient to strong winds. Parts of the process are done by workers and parts of it are done by machines. Something that can take a long time in construction is making the cuts because you have to be so precise. So having a machine do this instead can save a lot of time, and then a person can finish the job and make sure it's good. They had some samples of what everything is made out of, so you can see this is a piece of the wall. There's foam insulation inside, and the pieces fit together in these grooves to make them even stronger. The steel for the roof is recycled, and this is also really good when it comes to fire resistance as well, to have steel rather than wood on the roof. Over here is the concrete mixer for the walls. This is partially outside, but it pours all of this concrete into molds that are going to lay for about 8 hours to cure. And machines are able to do a lot of this, so it is automated and more efficient. Once they've cured, a machine takes off the molds. They use magnets to move the pieces together. The finished concrete walls are then moved into place by robots because obviously these would be extremely heavy, and then they're ready to go to be transported out this door to the construction site. This is where everything all comes together, but there's actually another factory that creates the bathroom pods. And one of the coolest things was seeing the bathroom pods in the houses. So they're able to just install a fully finished bathroom ready to be hooked up to the rest of the house. How wild is that? This is the bathroom pod factory. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like this. The concrete molds are poured outside, and then after they cure, they're brought inside by machines. Robots move each bathroom pod around to different stations, and there are workers at each station doing each job. So things like tiling, grouting, and painting are all done manually, but it's a lot more efficient because workers don't have to drive from job site to job site. Each bathroom comes to them. So they're not having to move all their materials and tools each time either. So using this production line process, they're able to make 16 to 20 bathroom pods each day, which is enough for about 4 houses. They can fit a few bathrooms on a truck, and then they just crane them inside each house. And like I mentioned, they already have the plumbing and electrical hookups on them, so they just have to be hooked up to the rest of the house. The stairs are also fully made in the factory and just brought in by a crane, which is pretty wild. So they do assemble everything else on site, but it's a much faster process because they don't have to make any cuts. Everything is ready to just be assembled together. And this is how they've been able to build hundreds of houses in just a couple years, and they're not stopping here. They're still building more. But let's take a look inside one of the finished houses. This is their Alba series of homes. They start at $500,000 for a 5-bed, 3-bath home. Okay, so this is the entryway. You'll notice that they have all tile floors in here, so no carpet or anything like that anywhere. Right off the entryway, there is a room that could be an office or a bedroom. So this house actually has quite a lot of bedrooms, and there is also a bathroom. Come check out the living area. The living area feels really modern. It's an open concept with a lot of windows and a slider out to the backyard. This is the kitchen that they have in this model. It's a really good size and it has good finishes, especially for this price point. I'll also note they have a few different styles. So they actually do have a more modern oak cabinetry. What's crazy is you would actually never know that there is as much concrete in this house as there is, because there is still drywall. So it feels like a regular house, but it's actually more wind resistant, more mold resistant, and fire resistant. But you still have the comfort of a drywall home that we're all kind of used to, right? Heading upstairs, they make very efficient use of the space. There's actually 4 bedrooms up here and a really generous sized primary bedroom. It's actually really big. New constructions are notorious for having small bedrooms, but this also had a big walk-in closet and a really big primary bathroom as well. And then down the hall is the other 2 bedrooms. Pretty good size. It could be an office, guest room, kids room, whatever, and another bathroom. These homes don't feel different than any other home, but when you look at them under construction, they've got all this concrete. I like that they still have drywall because it just feels more comfortable to me. But when you look at it this way, you can see how everything is much more reinforced. They're building over 700 homes just in 2024 alone, and a lot of these have already sold. People have already moved into them, but there are some that they're still completing and still for sale. They've also completed and sold over 500 townhouses. And taking a look inside of these, you can see they also make very efficient use of the space, and they're selling for the low 400,000s. So they've done a really great job at adding to the housing supply, houses that people actually want to live in. So while many parts of these are made in a factory, Onyx doesn't consider themselves a prefab company. They are more of a traditional home builder that just happens to be making a lot of the pieces within a factory. And I noticed an issue in the prefab home space that I want to bring up. The problem with prefabs doesn't have to do with the product itself, because a lot of prefabs are really cool looking. The issue is most of these companies aren't actually out there building them. They're waiting for an individual to buy a piece of land and hire the prefab company to build it, which is, 1% of the population, probably less. Most people do not have the time, the expertise, or the desire to build a house from the ground up. That, in my opinion, is the main issue with a lot of prefab homes. They're not real estate developers. They have a really cool product, but in reality, a lot of times they're not actually getting built. A lot of the prefab companies that I've made videos with, they've got like a handful of houses built. Whereas Onyx already has 500 townhouses that they built and sold out. A lot of prefab houses are also very expensive for what you get. It'll be a 2-bed, 2-bath starting at $400,000, not even including land. Whereas these Onyx homes, 5-bed, 3-bath for $500,000, including the land. Because of this whole production line, they're actually more efficient, so they're able to pass on a price savings to the buyer. Whereas a lot of prefab houses, I don't really actually see much price savings at all. The other thing with prefabs, I've noticed that many of them max out at 2-bed, 2-bath. It's hard to find a fully prefab house larger than that, and Onyx is targeting, family homes. 2,000 square feet, 5-bed, 3-bath. I haven't really seen a prefab company that's doing that. Okay, so we do need to address the elephant in the room, and that is that concrete is actually a very big CO2 emitter. Historically, concrete hasn't been great for the environment, but the cool thing is there's been technological advances in concrete. Onyx is working with a company called Biomason, which is basically growing concrete out of bacteria. They were inspired by how coral and all of that is made. It's very concrete-like texture. This company, Biomason, has found a way to make these concrete tiles without emitting a ton of CO2 because it's not getting super hot. And this company is working to get into the ready mix space, which will make concrete actually very green. A lot of people are saying that green concrete is really the future of home building, because once you have a concrete structure built, it's way better at insulating temperatures, so you don't have to use as much power to heat and cool that home. So it is still kind of a work in progress, but it's cool to see that they're getting there. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed learning about this company that's doing things a different way, and honestly, I think really making moves in solving the housing crisis. Like, they're building so many houses and they're not stopping in in Florida. They want to go all over. They're actually building a plant in Texas next, and they're planning to expand to like California, Nevada, Arizona after that. Comment down below of what you guys think of this idea of homes being partially built in a factory. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.